right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Pokemon. So today is the day. We've got some really big Metazoo news. It looks like there will be, or potentially be, a sale of the Metazoo IP and all the assets. So this was confirmed today. I saw the rumors going around. It is real. It is actually there on the court case. It's one of the documents that was submitted to the court. And basically, it's pending approval from the judge, and the deadline to be approved is October 8th. Then within 10 days after that deadline is when the sale is expected to be closed and finalized, and this is a done deal. So it's going to happen quicker than I think some of us thought if this is approved. So I'm going to give you guys some of the cliff notes here before we get straight into it, because I really want to dive into some of these documents and talk about a lot of these things in depth, because they actually posted the full inventory on here. So I wanted to look through that with you guys, but also the things that you're going to want to know right off the bat. The amount was just over $2 million. Like I said, this includes everything. This includes all the physical product, the IP, the digital assets, the digital artwork, the real artwork, the NFT stuff, the continuation of the card game, all that stuff, everything, all the trademarks, the whole Metazoo kit and caboodle is included in this sale. So I think that's a good thing if you're a Metazoo fan. That means nothing is being separated, so whoever's buying this is pretty serious about everything. So in addition to that, it looks like there's been a company created just for the purchase of Metazoo, but it looks like it's not Steve Aoki, which is another good thing, I guess, depending on who you ask. But a company has been created called MetaTwo LLC, METATWO. Metazoo Enterprises LLC, I should say. I would assume it looks like something that was created just to buy Metazoo, but it could have been pre-existing. We're going to dive into that in this video too. So there's that. There's also the fact that this includes everything. Like I said, I think is good. I didn't want to see a separation between the IP and the physical product, because that would probably mean that whoever was interested probably wasn't interested in continuing the original vision of Metazoo, which it looks like this might include. But again, this is essentially this is just the offer from the trustee. The trustee did this all on their own, and they're submitting it to the judge. So again, nothing here is set in stone. Nothing is finalized, but in my opinion, it looks like a pretty good offer. I'm sure you guys, a lot of you guys probably didn't expect $2 million. That would be what Metazoo would go for, maybe higher, maybe lower, but I'm a bit surprised with how high it is, and I think it's pretty darn close to covering a lot of the debt that Metazoo had. So it seems like a pretty good offer. It's kind of tricky with Metazoo. It's hard to trust anything that really happens, even if it's an official court document. So who knows? Maybe something goes wrong. Maybe the judge just denies this. It doesn't seem likely, just based on all the work that the trustee went through to get this together. I mean, this is after the auction. This is after all the bidding. This guy, who we'll talk about in this video, he was the highest bidder. It seems pretty close to satisfactory as far as the total amount of debt that Metazoo had. So this seems like a pretty legit offer, and this might be the future of Metazoo, this MetaTwo Enterprises LLC. So things are looking up if you're a Metazoo fan, but let's dive into some of these documents here. All right, guys, so there's a lot to get into here. I'm going to try to speed it up as quickly as I can for you guys. There's 74 pages of information in these documents. I'm going to try to sum it up and save you guys some time. So if you're wondering about the bidding process, they talk about that a little bit here. So they say initially, that initial just make us an offer deadline, they already had an offer right out of the gate for $500,000. They said right after the deadline, another offer came in that was more than $500,000. So that minimum number of $100,000 immediately in that first round, before they even let people bid against each other, they already had someone that was way beyond that. So they say they went on to have those two people, the $500,000 guy and then whoever came in late. Those are the two people that were bidding. So it looks like there was only two people involved in the actual bidding process against another bidder, and that's when they picked a winner. So the high bid was $2 million, $2,050,000 to be exact. all cash, no financing contingency. And in exchange for that $2,050,000, the buyer would receive all assets, all of the debtor's physical inventory, including but not limited to the physical inventory as itemized in Schedule A. Like I said, they've got an entire breakdown of the inventory, which I'll try to get to in this video. All the debtor's right, title, and interest to any trademarks owned by the debtor, so all the trademarks, it's basically their IP, itemized in Schedule B. They show what all those trademarks are, so like the word Metazoo, the Metazoo font, the little logos, like everything is included in that. All the debtors' right, title, and interest to any digital assets, including but not limited to all so they list all basically most of the digital assets are the digital art files, and there's like terabytes and terabytes of them. They also talk about NFTs. Looks like all the NFTs will be going to the buyer as well. I'll show you guys one of the tables here before we get into the actual. There's a huge spreadsheet full of all the actual physical inventory. But this is kind of the other stuff, the NFTs and coins, the website and social media accounts, the digital media content, which looks like is that 7 terabyte thing I was talking about, all the terabytes of artwork and images and all that sort of thing. All their customer information, so that would be like their email list from Shopify, I'm assuming. Any unreleased card sets. It looks like they're going to be turning over all the artwork or whatever was completed for Legacy and SCP. They say no physical product was ever created for either of these products. The set war was in the early design phase. Then they say the rights and IP of the digital card game. All rights in the digital card game are included. So everything. It's everything. So it looks like they're also getting the online client as well, the Cryptid Clash online client. So everything is included in this. So it is a all-encompassing sale. Now, here's the interesting part. This document was signed on behalf of Charlie Herlocker. Well, on behalf of MetaTwo Enterprises. It was signed by a guy named Charlie Herlocker. Now, that is in this publicly available document. I am assuming that they probably created this MetaTwo Enterprises to have a little bit of anonymity. So I'm trying to appreciate that as I read this. But in this publicly available court document, it does say the name of the person who is representing this MetaTwo Enterprises that is purchasing Metazoo. So that's a pretty important detail. I kind of feel a little bit bad because I feel like maybe he didn't want to be named in this, and that's why, again, the Metazoo Enterprises. But his name is there, his signature is there, and he's representing Metazoo. So who is Charlie Herlocker? Well, his initial LinkedIn search shows that he is looks like the owner of GameCubator Labs. But also there's an old YouTube interview where it says that he worked at CGC, and not only did he work at CGC, but he was their CGC senior consultant. I also looked at his Instagram page. I don't want to dox him here and link his Instagram. So I looked at his Instagram page. If you guys find it, you find it. But he had a bunch of Pokemon content on there. It looks like there were also some clips on his Instagram where he was brought in as an expert on Pawn Stars, or as a consultant on Pawn Stars, presumably for trading card evaluation or appraisal. So the point is, it looks like he's very heavily involved and connected to the trading card industry. So it looks like he's a very likely buyer. Now, I should also mention that in these 72 pages, the wording of these documents also does include, because I'm sure some of you guys want this peace of mind, that there was no affiliation prior with this guy and Metazoo, this guy and the trustee, this guy and Mike. And one of the reasons why, like I said, I kind of feel bad saying his name even in this video, even though it's publicly available, is when I looked up the MetaTwo Enterprises LLC, it has their incorporation date, so the date they were created, listed as 9/17/24, which was yesterday, which was when this document was submitted. So it kind of felt like he was using that to buy without using his own name. Maybe I'm not sure what the reason was. But this company was created. This LLC was created specifically for the purchase of Metazoo, or at least it looks that way based on the formation date being the same day as the sale. So as I mentioned earlier, all of this information, all the stuff that you're seeing in these 74 pages or whatever, this is all not approved yet. This is, again, just basically the trustees' offer to the courts to try to come to a resolution. So the date that we will have an answer from the judge will be this hearing on October 8th, 2024. It looks like it's a Zoom hearing at 10 a.m. And then it also said that within 10 days of this hearing is when this sale is supposed to be closed. So we should know before October is over if this is approved or denied. And then we should know who the new owner is. If it's approved, that'll mean in October, this guy owns Metazoo now. So I want to get into a little bit of the inventory here because I'm sure you guys were very curious about this. Now, interestingly enough, actually, I guess I can't say this part because it was still in the NDA, but there were pictures, I guess I can't say what they were of specifically, but they're not in this court document. So there's not pictures of the physical product. So I can't show you guys whatever pictures I might have seen in the NDA, but it should be reflected here in this inventory list what their inventory is as part of the sale. So first they have what's listed at the printer, and this is kind of what I showed you guys already. 4,000 Chromie big box 3-pack sets. So what I'll do here, because this is a massive spreadsheet, I'm going to read you guys some of the stuff that you'd probably be interested in. You're probably not going to even be able to see it, but it's on this spreadsheet, and I'll read you guys some of the big numbers that jump out to me. So at the printers, 4,000 Chromie big box 3-pack sets. Cryptid Nation 2nd edition booster boxes, 20,000. Looks like there's 20,000 Cryptid Nation 2nd edition spell books. Blister packs, 12,000. Chromie booster boxes. Looks like they're down to 800 of those. Chromie blister packs, 1,000. 18,000 Chromie big box boxes. And 1,000 Chromie collector's boxes. Oh, I'm sorry. 18,000 Chromie blister packs. I'm sorry, it's hard to break this down. And then 1,000 of the big box collector's boxes. So some of the bigger numbers that are jumping out to me here are like 11,000 Cryptid Nation 2nd edition booster boxes just at the warehouse. It looks like 32,000 blister packs of Cryptid Nation 2nd edition. 23,000 2nd edition theme deck. So you guys are getting kind of the idea. Some of the bigger numbers at both the printer and at the actual warehouse it look to be a vast majority of it 2nd edition. Like some of the other booster boxes that I'm seeing on here on this list are like in the thousands, like 1,000 or less, or a couple thousand. Talking about 2nd edition, you're talking about 23,000, 10,000, 32,000 on the blister packs. There's a lot of 2nd edition. It looks like with the skateboards, looks like they've got roughly 100 of a lot of the skateboards. So there's quite a bit of skateboards still there. I'm seeing a bunch of these Dimac boxes. Seance 1st edition booster boxes. Looks like they got 33,000 booster boxes of Seance. 45,000 blister packs of Seance. 42,000. So a lot of Seance. Actually, if you're talking about sheer booster boxes, that's more than they had of 2nd edition. So those are some of the big numbers with that. It looks like UFO, 45,000 booster boxes, 20,000 blister packs, 70,000 release event or theme decks, 70,000 theme decks. Or no, 70,000 spell books, 45,000. I'm sorry, it's hard to read these numbers. 70,000 spell books, 45,000 theme decks. Wilderness 1st edition booster boxes, surprisingly only 2,000 Wilderness booster boxes. Wilderness release event decks, looks like there's like 28,000, 25,000 theme decks. So surprisingly low number of Wilderness booster boxes compared to, like I said, 45,000 UFO booster boxes. What was Seance? 33,000 booster boxes, 20-some thousand of 2nd edition. So pretty good volume here. If you guys were wondering about some of the So if you guys were wondering about some of the grails, I would just say go to the very bottom of this spreadsheet. That's where some of the grail stuff is listed, some of the sample cards. They got the mini Piazza Bird prototype. They've got prototype Mothman listed in there. Looks like they've only got 3 Mothman prototypes listed. Promo cards from New York Comic Con. There was a binder. I thought there was a binder of sample cards listed on here. Individual promo card. It looks like there's 430 uncut Metazoo card sheets, another 50 uncut Metazoo sheets, 498 assorted Metazoo artwork. So I'm assuming that's all the original art from stuff like first edition Kickstarter artwork, some of the good stuff like the original Mothman artwork stuff. Why am I not seeing the samples on here? The prototypes, mini Piazza Bird, Halloween prototype, set of Flatwoods Monster, Topps Chrome, PSA encapsulated. Let's see. Sample. You know, scrolling through here, honestly, I'm not seeing very much sample stuff unless my eyes deceive me. Huh. Maybe now's a good time to go out and buy a sample Mothman if you haven't already. I thought when I looked at this list the first time, there's a binder of sample cards, and I'm not seeing it. Oh, there we go. I see it. One red binder containing nearly complete Metazoo sample set. Missing Mothman and Men in Black. So still, not a whole lot of sample stuff I'm seeing throughout this list. But also, I feel like you gotta wonder, why is it missing the sample Mothman? I feel like there's still some sketchy stuff going on, and maybe we just need to do a more in-depth video about the inventory. We can compare this inventory list to the inventory list that Mike sent me in the beginning of all this, because it's very similar to what I'm seeing here, and I wonder if anything would be missing from that list if we compared this final list to the original one that Mike had. But anyway, here's the deal. This is a very big day for Metazoo news. This is, I think, very exciting. It looks like the guy that potentially could be buying Metazoo is pretty well-connected guy. Looks like he's got pretty deep roots in the TCG community. I don't know anything about this guy as far as his character, as far as his business experience, as far as what's his interest in Metazoo. Is it the cryptids? Is he focused on continuing the card game or continuing the original roadmap? Are we going to get to see sets like War completed? Is that the path that he wants to go down? Is he mostly focused on, trying to continue on the IP in some weird form? Is he focused on improving the game itself? Is he focused on working on the online client? Does he want to repurpose Metazoo into something new? I think that it's telling that he bought everything, because I think that was a substantial chunk of the price tag being $2 million, not separating the IP and all the physical assets. I'm hoping that means that he's very serious about what Metazoo originally was and is hoping to continue down that path. Except hopefully do it better than it was done before by previous management. So honestly, this seems like a good thing. It's not Steve Aoki, which in my opinion would have not been good. Maybe some of you guys were wishing it was a big company coming in and buying this thing, a Bandai or a Fanatics. But maybe it's good that it's just a guy that seems to be well connected in the TCG space and maybe has just a deep personal interest in seeing this thing continue, versus if a big company bought this, yeah, they might have more resources, but it certainly seems this guy probably has some resources if he's got $2 million cash. A company, though, like Bandai might have better resources to get this thing rolling again, get it back off the ground, but maybe you want someone with a more intimate touch buying this thing. And maybe he collected Metazoo, for all we know. Maybe he has like a deep, intimate understanding of what Metazoo was and what the fans want it to continue being. But in any case, I honestly hope this gets approved. It seems like a pretty good scenario. I'd say a buyer is better than no buyer. A buyer that is spending quite a bit of money, looks like they must have quite a bit of money, seems like a good sign. Will they change the name to MetaTwo? I kind of hope not. But look, I hope this gets approved. This seems to be kind of a ray of hope for Metazoo fans here, and if this guy gets it, I wish him the best of luck. I hope he does a better job than previously. And I think if you look at the bright side, it's probably pretty hard to do a worse job than was done previously. It'd probably be pretty easy because the bar was so low to probably immediately surpass that bar upon taking over. I think we can rest a little bit easy seeing this. But again, it's not over till it's over. This has not been approved by the judge, even though I think this looks like a really good offer. It's a lot higher than I thought it would be. It's actually pretty close to the total debt that Metazoo has. I think it'll actually pay back quite a bit of it. I think it's probably more than what all that physical product would probably sell for right now on the secondary market. Not probably definitely more than what that product is worth on the secondary market right now. So I think it's a really good offer. And honestly, I have a feeling that come November, we're going to see all this happen. And I want to extend the offer to you, Charlie, if you're watching. And again, I'm sorry if you didn't want your name to be out there, but it was in the public documents. But I want to extend the offer. If you ever want to come on the channel and do an interview when this is all settled and talk about this, I'd be more than happy to have you on. And if you ever need any help from me, or I could be involved in any way with the new Metazoo, not even, staff or not, paid or not, I'd be happy to help with anything and just be involved somehow. So I want to put that offer out there, and I wish you the best of luck. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What's going to happen with Metazoo? Do you think this sale is going to go through? Do you think it's good or bad? What do you think about all this stuff? Let me know down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more. Click the bell notification click the bell notification icon, all that good stuff. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Pokemon signing out.